Joining me now is Marwan Mausher, who has served as Jordan's foreign minister and deputy prime minister and is now based here in Washington at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Welcome to This Week. You heard what Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said. They're inching towards saying that he's lost legitimacy. Should they say that now? Should they call for him to step down? Assad.
The United States is basically saying it even implicitly. I mean, either implement reforms or step out of the way. This is a minority regime that has no interest in opening up the system because they know that if they do, they will be out of power. So the implicit really message is that the regime's days, I think,
why not make it explicit? They did in Libya, they did in Egypt, they have done elsewhere.
There's a big concern of the alternative. They don't know, who are they going to deal with. There is a concern that the Muslim Brotherhood will come to power, and that explains part of the reluctance. The opposition, as you said, met in Turkey and in fact actually came up with a very strong message that they want a secular, pluralistic Syria in which religion plays no role. I think that was a very surprising but welcome message.
Considering the Muslim Brotherhood was at that meeting as well.
And was very heavily represented at the meeting.
So you don't think that there's a threat, like many people in the region believe, that the Muslim Brotherhood could fall into any of the vacuums in any of these countries we're seeing?
The Muslim Brotherhood has been used for a long time as a scare tactic. This is not to say that they don't have designs, but I think that in closed systems, protest votes will only go to the Brotherhood. In pluralistic, open systems, the Brotherhood will have to compete against many other alternatives, and I think that is the way that all Arab countries should go to.
Now, you have met Bashar Assad when you were foreign minister. Many called him a reformer. Many thought that he would have high hopes. The US administration has been trying to woo the Syrians back into the sort of League of Nations, if you like. What is it about him that's turned him this way? Why is he doing this? Or was he always going to do that to hold on to power?
Well, he's been in power for 11 years, so he's had a chance to really put his people in power and to be able to implement reforms. The fact that he has not done so either suggests that he does not intend to do so, or suggests that he has a system around him which, as I said, has no interest in opening up a system and putting its own neck on the line. Whatever the case, I think today, the end result is the same.
Is he history? I mean, can he hold on?
I don't think so. I think any regime that basically turns around against its own people really loses whatever legitimacy they have. It's going to be bloody and it's going to be long. I don't think that the regime is in danger of falling out tomorrow. But I think that we have reached a no-return point.
A very, very important country for the United States and the region is Yemen. We've just seen the president being forced out because of an injury, apparently. He's handed over control. Do you think that's the end of Saleh? Will he come back?
It's probably the end of Saleh. I mean, it's difficult to tell, but I think that this is probably a diplomatic exit.
And the US has been trying to get him out diplomatically for months. Yes. And yet, this is the most important country in terms of fighting Al-Qaeda. What will it mean for the fight against Al-Qaeda?
Well, Yemen, we must understand, is a problem country for some time, even before the recent uprisings. They've had a problem with the north, with the Houthis. They have a problem with the south. They have a problem with Al-Qaeda. All these were problems that were present in Yemen long before the uprising took place. So whoever really replaces Ali Abdullah Saleh will still have to deal with Al-Qaeda problem. But I also don't think that the problem with Al-Qaeda is linked to one person only. This is a problem that Yemen is interested in, and whatever regime comes to power, in my view, will also have an interest in fighting Al-Qaeda just as much as Ali Abdullah Saleh.
So you think so, whoever comes to power? Of course, the US has poured in billions of dollars and a lot of attention into Yemen, so there's a huge investment there. You think whatever replaces Saleh will be committed to fighting Al-Qaeda as well?
I think so. Let's remember that Yemen, under any new regime, will need a huge influx of funds, probably that will come from the United States, from Saudi Arabia, and maybe others. Otherwise, it is facing an economic meltdown. So whoever comes to power is not going to be stupid, and I don't think will risk the interests of Yemen in fighting Al-Qaeda and in putting together, a country back.
Looking across the region, you see Egypt, Tunisia, Libya, obviously all pretty different. How do you see it all playing out?
Let's remember, this is an uprising that just started. I think it will be measured in decades rather than months and years. We are not going to see the same reaction in each Arab country. you do have Arab countries with different degrees of legitimacy, and some with more time than others. I think the key question is for those who do have time and that who do enjoy legitimacy, is to invest that time in a serious, comprehensive, inclusive and measurable reform process rather than continuing the reform rhetoric that we have seen in many Arab countries. If they do invest that time in such a process, they have every chance to succeed.
All right, Marwan Mausher, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll be watching to see whether those new democracies will be pro-Western, pro-American as well.